Hey y'all, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? All right, perfect. Every time I do these lives, it's like I have to make sure everything's correct. I have to make sure everything looks good. Jupiter in Virgo in the second house and a progressed Virgo rising. Jupiter square my Mercury in Sagittarius. So I just always have to make sure it looks good. So, guys, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's Umi Genevieve, Laced in Space Constellations on LSD. Thanks for tuning in. You guys could have been anywhere else and you decided to be here with me. So, always want to show gratitude, always want to show appreciation. Now, this is my first time doing this Zoom through YouTube live, so bear with me. Even though I'm born in like the internet age and I'm thriving through the internet age, technical difficulties, back to my Mercury energy, just always seems to find me. So just bear with me, guys. So the overall view of this live. I wanted to talk about this Jupiterian influence that is following the collective right now. We started off the new year, January 1st, with Mercury going direct in Sagittarius, and a few days before, Jupiter went direct in Taurus. So this Jupiterian Sagittarius energy, and already we know that Neptune is in Pisces and Saturn is in Pisces. So this overall Jupiterian energy, since Pisces is associated with Jupiter as well. Now, I wrote some notes just so I stay on track. Remember, back to my mutable energy. I need to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about, right? So, just want to make sure I stay on track. So we're starting off this year with a Jupiterian push. And a big thing with the Jupiterian energy is it's not that I don't know what I need to do, it's that I just need more structure in figuring how to do it. Because we already know what a lot of Sagittarius placements, Jupiterian energy, these energies need to really watch their tone, really watch the way that they bring in others into their ideas, because it can come off very I am strong-willed. So this year, it was a different type of New Year's resolution. It was more of a, I know what I need to do. I know what the sense of structure is. I just need help doing that. And I also want to help others in doing that. So right now with this Jupiterian push, this mutable energy, it's calling all the mutables. Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, your energy is being called forth to help others, guide others, teach others. You're special right now. And for the Sagittarius and Geminis, where you're going to need to be doing a lot of research, a lot of figuring out shortcuts, figuring out how you can make these clients' lives easier, these students' lives easier. With Virgo and Piscean, we're going to take on more of a metaphysical, supernatural, holistic approach to now how we want to help people. And if it's been changing in your own lives, Gemini and Sag, mentally, to where you want to seek better information for others, and Virgo, Pisces, where you want to integrate better habits in your own life, lifestyles in your own life to help others, but it's being called forth, the mutable energy. And it's like, and I wrote this quote, it's not what I have to do, it's about finding out the best methods to do it. And that's what the collective walked into this year with this Mercury going direct in Sagittarius. And everybody wants answers, and everybody's willing to go like routes to find these answers. People are going on retreats. People are going into spiritual type of learnings, holistic. People are taking on going back to school, finishing out degrees, getting certifications. This is the start of the year had a big push for that. We're calling out the teachers, especially since there's already a teacher uh, shortage right now. So it's calling out the teachers. Maybe Pluto's in Aquarius, so just even throwing that out there, just putting the transits together. For the teachers, they might probably have some grants, some unions that are about to be built up, certain spaces where it can be lucrative right now for those who want to take the teaching route. Since it's a summon for all of you, it's being summoned. And a few quotes that I wrote about, I wrote about this, just this transit. It's about New Year awakening, spiritual findings, expanding horizons, especially the Piscean and Sagittarius placements. Where do you feel like you need to move long distance? Why is there a conversation where do I stay short distance or do I go long distance? What is my environment about? And that's for the collective, but specifically for the mutables, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius. You guys have been in a movement energy since 2021, 22, when Jupiter started to walk into Pisces. And now Saturn is in Pisces, and it wants to add more practicality, discipline, and where you are currently if you moved since 2021, 22. So expanding our horizons is also important. And while the New Year's resolution is all about, it has been known to joining the gyms, getting into fitness, that is still a push with mutable energy. But there's also that added Sagittarius Jupiterian flair that is going to ask you if you really need to dive into therapy this year. If you really need to go into even getting into some sort of clinical medication, prescribed medication, however the case may go, help this year as well. There's a big push for therapy and talk therapy and the importance in that. And retreats too, because it is Sagittarius, Piscean energy, Jupiterian, that can open up more of this talk therapy, self-talk. Now, with Jupiter going direct in Taurus, December 30th, that is all about, or a big center of it is about nutrition. The collective wants to talk about what they're eating, how they're cooking, what they're consuming. And Taurus always asks about consumption. When Uranus moved into Taurus in 2018, 19, that was a big talk of what we were consuming, processed foods. We even had a food shortage starting around that time, right before the pandemic. And also, if anyone's in like the food industry, around 2018, 19, we started talking about the Impossible Burger, the Impossible food, the food that's made through a sort of processed, like not meatless. And a big push around those years as well for veganism and just all different lifestyles of how we consume. If you go back to those dates, it was talks even about the farms. So research back to 2018, 19, why it was really important with the shortage of farms, products, and those overall, like those spaces. But it started since then, a big push since then. Now we're back. And this is important for the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. You really want to get your nutrition in order, your family's nutrition in order. Some of you are taking huge, like surgical, transformative routes to change what you're eating. Some of you are even starting to cook. You've never cooked like you're cooking now. Or you stopped cooking and you realize you need to get back into cooking for yourself. And just getting more into your herbs. Fixed signs are really big in that. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And just taking the herbalist, holistic route and just really getting into the nature of rebuilding this stuff. They are the creative centers. So fixed signs are really connected to finding out the source, the inner source in self. Since Uranus was in Taurus 2018, 19, as we pick up to now with Jupiter being in Taurus, it would just be really important for the culinary world. Hey, if you're good at cooking, try to see if you could start a little selling plates, start a little venue where you can show your gifts. Because right now you are the focus, nutrition, consumption, and just those who can help others build a food plan, a consumption plan is important. And you'll be pushed to the forward. All teachers, definitely food if you're in the culinary. And you're being called, it's not in vain. Now, starting with just this year from January to May, this mutable energy, mutables, you're being centered. Mercury in Sagittarius starting the year, Saturn being in Pisces starting since last year. And then as we move into May, Jupiter goes into Gemini. The mutables who haven't traveled for some time, haven't gone anywhere for some time, felt stuck. It's time to really ask ourselves why we feel so confined to our environment. This wants to open up movement. The mutables who have felt bored, stuck, hit a wall, it's time to open up different skill sets. This is for the collective, but it's going to center mutable energy since we're starting off the year, and Saturn, the collective conscious, the collective discipline, is an immutable energy. So huge relocations, leaving industries you've worked in for years, finally creating platforms where you share your ideas and your thoughts. Huge reunions, especially Pisceans. They could be having blasts from the past or reuniting with people they haven't seen for years, but all mutables are under this umbrella. And huge changes in everyday living and everyday lifestyles. Now, I also broke down months that would be specific to certain signs. I stretched them out just to give you shadow periods. But there's going to be specific transits that stretch out. That'll be towards specific signs, placements. Now, the fire signs are a focus for the first 4 months of the year. Mercury goes direct on the 1st, and the nodes are in Aries and will make a conjunction to Chiron in February 19th. Now, it'll be a slow period for you fire signs in the first part of January. Getting resumes in order, figuring out your life, figuring out your routines, figuring out how to learn patience, pace yourself. Then as we move into the late part of January, you will start to feel that momentum. The first part of January is about building, stabilizing, waiting. Looking into the future and waiting for announcements and directions. Late February, as Pluto and the Sun moves into Aquarius, you'll feel these blocks being lifted. Now it's in Aquarius, so it's going to ask you to go a non-traditional route, be a little bit more open-minded, figure out what you can really afford for yourself and how you share with others, fire signs. But the first part of January, you could have been in a still moment, and that's okay. It's Saturn anyway, Capricorn season. It slows everyone down. The air signs will be focused later parts, so after those 4 months. So January, February, March, April, yep, so May and on. Pluto goes retrograde in May, and Jupiter moves into Gemini in May. Air signs. Now, the air signs should focus from the months of late April to October, 6 months. Just focus on those 6 months from April to October. Because we'll give ourselves shadow periods, but we know the transits really start in May. Now, these are sensitive 6 months for you, and just plan accordingly. Know that starting late April, we're coming into transits that center the air signs. Friendships, community, these become a focus as we move into April, May. It's a 6-month transit for you where you're trying to figure out where you fit in. Who's by your side? Do you even want anyone by your side? So air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Important months for you start late April, early May, till October. It's a 6-month transit of figuring out where you belong, if you belong. And it's a networking period for you as well. But since it's retrograde, where we have to do some introspection on how we want to network, who we want to connect with, who we want to share with, that overall basis, and if we feel a true belonging there. Just play some music. Perfect. Mutables. When Saturn goes retrograde in late July, be cautious of how things can get a little out of whack, or it's pushed you to get into shape. Now, it will have similar effects the last time Saturn went retrograde, and that was in June of 2023. So mutables, starting June of 2023 till November of 2023. Why did it open up? Spontaneous, being open-minded, being adaptable, moving, travel, change of skill sets, anxiousness, restlessness. We're back here starting July for the mutables. late July, July 29th. So this is Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius placements. Think about June of 2023 to November of 2023 and why those months opened up unpredictability for you. Cancer and Capricorn. Pluto will retrograde back into Capricorn September 1st. Cancer and Cap, September to October of 2024 will have huge significance for you, especially the older Cancer and Capricorns. You will finally be done with this 15-year transit from when Pluto moved into Capricorn, 2008. So those who are older Capricorn and Cancer placements, why is 2008 to 2010 so important for you? What do you have to go back on, are reflecting back on, and feel like you finally need to wrap up? Now, September to October will be nostalgic for you since we're finally finishing. We're doing this last retrograde and we're fully going into Aquarius. Pluto's finally leaving you alone. And Pluto is really about huge transformations, letting go, new me, a whole reform of self. And this, you've been working on this, Capricorn and Cancer, especially when it started to go into retrograde at critical degrees, 29 degrees. So those who have Cancer and Capricorn placements from 20 degrees and up to 29, very personal for you, 2023. On what we need to return on, why we need to go into our family history, why we need to go back into our culture. Some of you returned home, maybe literally. But especially the older Capricorn Cancer placements, and in general, September and October of 2024 will be personal for you. Fixed signs, and this is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. November of 2024 to February of 2025 are vital for you. Pluto goes direct into Aquarius and November stays there, November 19th, and Mars goes retrograde in Leo in December. Now, the end of the year is powerful for the fixed signs, powerful for your households, powerful in your resources and your ability to build for the future. Now, it takes some purging and huge efforts in releasing bad habits and binge lifestyle. Fixed signs know all about when it comes to binging things. The end of the year is yours, fixed signs. So these are the transits that really pulled me and I wanted to share with the collective. And also knowing what parts of the year will be more vital for you based on your energy. See you guys later. Love is love.